applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we got conference tournament picks part 2. Now, part 1, I can't lie, man. It's looking ugly. My Big South conference champ just lost to Montana in Northern Colorado, so that sucks. My Horizon League champ is currently playing University of Detroit Mercer currently. They're down 1 with 7:31 left in the first half, so a lot of time there. But we got to do 2 things. We got to shout out the Furman Paladins for punching their ticket to the dance, beating ETSU in the SoCon Tournament Championship. Congrats to Furman. And we got to shout out. Why am I blanking? Hold on. Oh, I just blanked out. Hold on, bro. I just had a major brain fart. Why am I forgetting the other conference? Oh, the Troy Trojans. Sorry about that brain fart. We got to shout out the Troy Trojans. They put an end to Georgia Southern's Cinderella run, magic run. Georgia Southern won 5 games in 5 days, needed that 6th win in that 6th day, and could not get it done against the number 1 seeded Troy Trojans. They are going dancing, I think, back-to-back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Troy won last year, so this is the back-to-back year. They're going dancing. So salute the Troy Trojans for getting that job done, man. It's a back-to-back, just like John Summerall, where he was with Troy, man. But had to get that out the way. Now, let's jump into the polls, because there was a new poll released, and we do have to talk about it. So let's do some poll talk. So we got a comment. Yes, sir. 8 of the 31 automatic qualifiers have been filled. Teams are starting to learn that they're going dancing. And shout out to you as well, Joe Bob 1200. Appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you like the stream. But let's go ahead and get to talking about these polls. The top 25 poll, because we got some interesting ones. So obviously, Duke is number 1. I think Duke is, as long as Duke wins the ACC tournament, they'll be the number 1 overall seed. Number 2 is Arizona. Number 3, Michigan. Number 4, Florida. Number 5, Houston. I have no problem with the top 5 whatsoever. None. Number 6, UConn. I guess I'll keep them there 6. 7, Iowa State. Me personally, I like MSU to be above Iowa State, but MSU did lose. So Iowa State's at 7. Michigan State is at 8. Illinois is at 9. UVA is at 10, which I would love to see UVA a little bit higher, maybe above Illinois. Nebraska is at 11. Gonzaga, 12. Again, y'all know how I feel about Gonzaga, man. You lose to Portland. Well, St. Mary's not a bad loss, but you don't look as good. Now, granted, I know Braden Huff isn't on the roster. He's probably not coming back. No, he's not coming back to the dance. But, yeah, I think Gonzaga should drop for that alone. St. John should be a good front of Gonzaga to me. They're currently at 13. Kansas at 14. Bama's at 15. Texas Tech dropped to 16. They did lose to BYU on the road. Arkansas is at 17. Purdue is 18. They dropped 3 more spots after losing on senior night to Wisconsin. UNC is 19. Now, I feel like the only reason why UNC is not in front of Purdue is probably the Caleb Wilson injury, just flat out. Other than that, I think they would be in front. But Miami of Ohio actually drops, finishing 31-0. They dropped to 20, which that's just because, mid-majors, they don't get no respect. St. Mary stays at 21. Surprised they ain't jump Miami of Ohio. You might as well. You want to jump everybody else in front of them. Vandy, 22. Wisconsin, 23, which I definitely like it. Louisville, they just love Louisville. Jumps them right into 24. Tennessee, 25. Don't understand how Tennessee is still ranked. Really don't. I would have actually liked to see Miami State ranked over Tennessee. I wouldn't have minded seeing TCU finally becoming ranked. The way TCU finished the schedule down the stretch, tremendous. So I would have loved to see TCU get that number beside their name being a ranked school. Louisville, it's the name. Yeah, they finally beat a ranked team on the road. They have a losing record against ranked teams on the road. But I'd like to see TCU see their name with a number beside it, in my opinion. Tennessee, again, yeah, big whoop. You beat South Carolina. Who hasn't, right? South Carolina's at the bottom of the SEC. Not the very bottom, because I think the Ole Miss win for South Carolina, which congrats to South Carolina finishing the year with a dub. I mean, I'll take it. But if they're not at the very bottom, which I don't think they are, I think actually Ole Miss or LSU is actually at the very bottom. I want to say it's LSU. They're like third or fourth from the bottom. So that Tennessee win has no weight. And then you lose on the road. You lose at home to Vandy, which Vandy hasn't beat you in your house since 2017. Get them out of the rankings. It's such SEC bias. Just like Auburn being in the tournament field right now, it's such SEC bias. And again, I never thought I would see that in college basketball. Obviously, it's in college football a ton. But college basketball, never thought I'd see it. But I would definitely like to see TCU ranked up front of Tennessee. If you want to put TCU in front of Miami, I'm cool with it. TCU ended the regular season on a 5-game winning streak. Beat Cincy, who was streaking. Beat Texas Tech, who was streaking before TCU beat them. So I would have loved to see TCU ranked 25th at the very least. I'd love to see TCU in front of Louisville at the very least. But those are the polls. Those are the rankings. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Let me know how you feel. If you want to let me know it currently right now in the chat, let me know. But other than that, let's get to why we're here. We are here to pick the remainder of the conference tournaments until Sunday, which is 6 days away. So I'm trying to fix something. It won't let me. There we go. So we're going to start. This is in alphabetical order, just like last time. And this time it's really in alphabetical order. Start with the American. And in the American Conference, I'm going with South Florida. South Florida, this is the second time in the last 3 years that South Florida has won the American Conference tournament. They won it 2 years ago with Chris Youngblood, Miguel Shelton, Keyshawn Pryor. Again, I think Jaden Reed was on that squad. They were loaded. They were talented. I mean, 3 of those guys, the four guys I just named off went to play at a Power 5 school. Keyshawn Pryor currently on Louisville. Youngblood went to Alabama. He's currently on the Thunder. Miguel went to Maryland. And then Jaden Reed he was at Northwestern this year. So very talented roster. I think this is a very talented roster this year as well. They ended the year winning 9 straight. They advanced to the semifinals, and they have a really good team. Now, it is some teams that could potentially upset them. FAU played them tough at their house earlier in the year. Wichita State is also streaking currently. I think Wichita State is on like a 6-game winning streak, something like that. They're a good team. They got Will Berg from Purdue, who's a big man. He's 7'2", can change shots. So, but I'm going with South Florida, man. I think South Florida has been the best team in the conference all year, or majority of the year, because at one point, Tulsa, was in first place for a little minute. Charlotte was in first place for a little minute. But ultimately, I'm going South Florida to win this conference. Next, we have the A-10. And St. Louis was in control of this conference basically until like the last 2-3 weeks. Well, basically until like the last week. I'm going VCU. I'm going VCU. VCU has a really talented starting five. And St. Louis, I just don't like how they've been playing down the stretch. St. Louis again has lost 3 of their last 6. I think they're 3-3 since what were they, like 20 something and 1. The last stretch of basketball, they just been looking real bad. Even the game where they came back and beat VCU, they were down big against VCU. So, and now if St. Louis can get back to the old St. Louis, they'll dominate this A-10 tournament. Excuse me. If they can get back to how they were before they took a loss, they'll dominate. But I don't know if they can get. I don't know what's wrong with St. Louis right now. I really don't. See, that's the thing. I don't know because I really don't know what's wrong with them. It just isn't the same currently. I honestly can't get what's wrong with St. Louis right now. I don't get it right now. But I'm going with VCU, man. I'm going with VCU. Next, we got the ACC tournament. I'm going Duke. Now, granted, Coach Shire said that, well, this is alleged because I didn't see him verbatim say this, but I seen this was a possibility. It's a possibility that Duke will be entering this tournament without Caleb Foster and Patrick Nwamba. I didn't see them play a lot of games without Patrick Nwamba. I think they're fine without Patrick Nwamba. Caleb Foster, he's a good player as well. I think he's an important player for Duke, but I think they'll be fine without Caleb Foster as well. They got players. It's Duke. They're loaded with talent. And I seen Duke with no Cooper Flag win the ACC tournament championship last year. So give me Duke again to win this ACC tournament championship. They dominated the ACC. They only lost 1 game in ACC play, and that was to North Carolina with Caleb Wilson when Seth Trimble hit the game-winning 3 at the buzzer. But beyond that, Duke led the entirety of that game. Duke led from wire to wire until Seth Trimble hit a game-winning 3 to literally win it. So give me Duke to win the ACC tournament. Next, we have the Big 12 tournament. And I'm going Arizona. Why? Beyond Arizona having one bad week where they took back-to-back losses, they won every other game. Iowa State, they look good at home. Real iffy on the road. They could get real, like the scoring drought can be real for Iowa State. Houston, looking real overrated to me. I said that when they lost 3 straight, the third being the Kansas. I said they're going to come back and win the last 3 games of the season, and I'm not falling for it. And to be honest, Oklahoma State had them at one point, but Houston's just, they're better than Oklahoma State. They played Baylor and Colorado to finish their last 3 games of the season. I'm not falling for Houston. Kansas, I don't know how I'm going to get from Kansas. Yeah, Darren Peterson had a monster game off the bench, Kansas' last game against Kansas State, but it's Kansas State. They're not good. They're not. Kansas is up and down. It's like Kansas' ceiling, they could be one of the best teams in the Big 12. And their floor, they could be a competition for sure. But Kansas could also get knocked out. So Kansas could get knocked out by Houston, to be honest. Like, no offense, but I do think that Big Monday thing is real. Kansas could play probably an NBA team on Big Monday at night in Lawrence, Kansas. I might pick Kansas. I mean, it's a joke, but still. But yeah, I'm going Arizona. I think Arizona is the best team in the Big 12. I think they're the most rounded team in the Big 12, and I think they're the most consistent team in the Big 12. And BYU is not in my mix, obviously, because of the Richie Saunders injury. That showed that's big for BYU. Now, if there's a dark horse, my dark horse would probably be Texas Tech, but Texas Tech kind of reeled at the end of the year. But I'm going Arizona. Next, we got the Big East. Going St. John's to win back-to-back. I just don't trust UConn. I don't. I just saw UConn get upset on the road to Marquette. I didn't see the game before that where UConn was in a close one with Seton Hall. Should not happen. Not with UConn. Not with the talent that they have. St. John's has dominated the Big East. And not for nothing, St. John's, UConn at UConn, 1 was a revenge game for UConn for how they lost to St. John. But 2, that drought that they went on was crazy. I think it was 14 minutes, no field goal, something like that. I don't see that happening again if they meet up in the championship. So give me St. John's to win the Big East. Next, y'all gonna call me a homer for this one, and I'm cool with it because I believe in my guys. The Big Ten tournament. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say Michigan should be the favorite because they should be. Clearly, they lost one game in Big Ten play, and it was to Wisconsin, and it was close. They clearly should be the favorite in this. And I'm not mad if you pick Michigan to win because, honestly, if I'm not a Michigan State fan, I probably would pick Michigan to win. And as a Michigan State fan, I would love to see Michigan get knocked out of the tournament just like they loved to see us get knocked out last year. They ain't want to see us last year. They didn't. But I'm going with MSU, man. We can beat anybody in the Big Ten tournament. I think we can actually beat Michigan, man. I think we can. I know getting swept says otherwise. I think we can do it. Will it be tough? Absolutely. Yaxel Lundeberg is a force. I was talking about him last year at UAB. I was hoping he was going to the draft last year because, I hate Michigan. So, but I'm going to miss you, and you can call me a homer. It is what it is. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. Because I'm admitting to you right now, it is kind of a homer pick. But it's not. It's a homer pick because we are a really good team. Like, it's not like I'm picking MSU as like a mid to bottom tier Big Ten team. We finished third in the Big Ten because we lost the tiebreaker to Nebraska. Carson Cooper, I'm still sick. You missed them 2 free throws to tie the game. But yeah, but we'll move on to the Big West, and I'm going UC Irvine. Why? First of all, UC Irvine can beat any team in the Big West. Secondly, I feel like Hawaii down the stretch. I'm not gonna say they spiraling. That's more so UC Cal State Northridge. I think Cal State Northridge is spiraling. I think that was a great streak they were on, but the loss to UC Irvine kind of did something to them. But I feel like that loss to Long Beach State kind of showed me something if you're Hawaii. Now, Hawaii's a really good team. They could meet up with UC Irvine in the finals, I believe. I think they're the second seed. So, yeah, that's how they'll meet up. But I got UC Irvine. Andre Henry is a great player. You got Kyle Evans down low. Drayton Dixon getting to the cup. I like UC Irvine a ton. Give me UC Irvine. Next, we got Conference USA. And I'm going with Liberty. I'm going with the team that won back-to-back Conference USA titles. I'm going with the team that won the Conference USA tournament last year. And you might be saying, Carl, what last year got to do with this year? They got 3 players from that Conference USA team tournament last year. They got Caden Mahaney. He's back. They got Zach Cleveland. He's back. And they got Colin Porter. He's back. The main guy they're missing, who's in the NBA right now, is Talon Peter. He's playing for the Pacers. But they dominated Conference USA. Yeah, towards the end of the season, they dropped games. I felt like that was them being lazy, kind of, knowing that all they had to do was win one game, and they won the Conference USA title. And plus, they started off, undefeated in conference play. Bound to happen. Now, I will say if I'm Liberty, though, I am kind of scared of FIU. Back-to-back games against FIU, you won in overtime, and it was close. FIU is a scary team for Liberty, but I'm going with Liberty. Next, we got the Ivy League, and I'm going Yale. Now, Yale has to be Cornell. Cornell is a big matchup for Yale. I think they lost their last game against Cornell, but if Yale could get past Cornell, I think they'll do fine. Yale's an Ivy League powerhouse. We've seen them upset teams like Auburn in the conference tournament, in the NCAA tournament before. And I think Nick Townsend is a great player for Yale. So give me Yale to win the Ivy League. Next, we have the MAC. We have a team that's currently 31-0, undefeated in MACtion. And they are second in odds to win the MAC championship behind Akron, which quiet as kept. Akron kept pace with Miami of Ohio the entirety of the year. They only lost one game in MACtion, and that was to Miami of Ohio. And last year, I did pick Akron to win it. And Miami of Ohio should have won it last year. I'm going with Miami of Ohio. Now, granted, Miami of Ohio had a lot of games where they show why they are escape artists at 31-0. But I think this team is ready. I do. I think this team is ready. I think this team remembers how they blew a major lead against Akron down to the last seconds. And I think they're ready to rewrite that. Travis Steele's going to have them boys ready to go. He's going to, most of the team, well, not most, some of the team was there last year, including their main guy, Peter Suter. So I think they all remember that in bad taste in their mouth, and they want revenge. So give me Miami of Ohio. Next, we got Howard. Howard had a great run in the MEAC, finished first place. They won their last 6 games. They're the hottest team in the MEAC. So I'm going to take Howard to win the MEAC and get to dancing. Next, we got the Mountain West Conference. And this one, I was thinking a lot on this one because there's so many teams that can win this conference. Yeah, Colorado State lost their last game at home to Boise State. But beyond, they won 8 of their last 9. Boise State, they're back on a win streak again. They're on a 5-game winning streak, including knocking off the hottest team in the conference at the time, Colorado State. Then you got Utah State, who won it all. They can beat anybody. Then you got Nevada, who, when healthy, beat New Mexico. Nevada can beat anybody. And then you got UNLV, who played close to San Diego State on the road. They blew out Utah State. Josh Pastner has a history. He did this with Georgia Tech of being a mid-tier conference team and running the table. He did it with Jose Alvarado and Georgia Tech. It was one of the – I love that whole ride. I remember watching that ride with Georgia Tech live. It was so fun to watch, and I like Josh Pastner, the coach. And then you got New Mexico. Even though I'm a little nervous about New Mexico, I can't lie. You got San Diego State, who plays really good defense. Blew out Utah State last time they played. So it's so many ways you can go in this conference tournament. But ultimately, I went Utah State. I think they're consistently the best team. I think they are. I just think across the board, they're consistently the best team in the conference. And they got two. I forgot to look up if they announced the conference player of the year because they had two candidates. They had Mason Falslev and they had MJ Collins. So they had to. Now, again, that is had because I don't know if they announced the player of the year yet. No, from what I see, they have not. They announced for women's. Nope, they have not announced it yet. But yeah, they got two player of the year candidates, MJ Collins and Mason Falslev. So give me Utah State. And they probably had a 6th man of the year in Carson Templin. So give me Utah State. Next, we have the SEC. And I'm going with the team that's just been flat out dominant. They won 11 straight in the conference. They look like they're unbeatable right now. They could possibly play for a national championship yet again and become back-to-back national champions. Doing that for the first time since Billy Donovan did it in 05 and 06. And that is the Florida Gators. The Florida Gators is just too much. They have too much length, size, and when Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee is playing well, they look unstoppable. They got multiple NBA players on their team. Give me the Florida Gators. They have 2 losses in SEC play, but I feel like those were early losses. They lost to Auburn. Well, they're not losing to Auburn as we speak right now, and they lost to Mizzou, but that was on the road. And Mizzou's a good team, but they're dropping games as well. So give me Florida. Next, we have the Southland Conference. Now, Stephen F. Austin won the Southland, and rightfully so. I was happy to see it. It's been a while since I've seen Stephen F. Austin win the Southland. But the favorite is McNeese because McNeese the last 2 years have been dominant. And to be honest, they were kind of dominant in this year's Southland as well. It's just Stephen F. Austin was just more dominant. Stephen F. Austin had 1 loss, which was to McNeese, but McNeese had 2. No, Stephen F. Austin had 2 losses, excuse me. I think 1 was to New Orleans and 1 was to McNeese. But McNeese had 3, and 1 was to also Stephen F. Austin. But I'm going with Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin, man. They're a scrappy group. They play defense. They play McNeese very well. The games have gone to the wire. But they got to dethrone McNeese, and I think this is the year that they do it. I think McNeese gets dethroned. Will Wade was a great coach, putting in a lot of D1 talent. It's going to be an interesting game if they both make the championship. It's going to be a battle for sure. But I'm going Stephen F. Austin. I think I like them to upset McNeese and finally win the conference tournament. We have 2 more left, and we're going to start with the SWAC. And I'm going Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman won this, by 4 games. They have D1 bounce backs in Arturo Morris. And this is the best season that the Bethune-Cookman had since joining the SWAC in 2021. This is the first SWAC conference title they ever had since joining the SWAC. And I think now they pull like a Tennessee State, but a little closer in years because Tennessee State was 30 years. It's about 4-5. This is actually 5 years. And I think they win the conference tournament championship as well. And the last pick is the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference. Now, to me, it's between 2 teams, Dominique Daniels and Cal Baptist or Utah Valley. Now, ultimately went with Utah Valley. Now, I want to say Dominique Daniels is the WAC Conference Player of the Year. I also didn't see them announce that yet, so this is all speculation, but you could look that up real quick. No, nothing announced yet from what I see. But I'm assuming it's going to be Dominique Daniels of nope, they haven't announced it, of Cal Baptist. But I like Utah Valley overall. They have multiple contributors. I think they have like 4 people averaging double digits for Utah Valley. And they won the last 6 straight. They are hotter than Cal Baptist. I think Cal Baptist won 4 straight. So give me the Wolverines of Utah Valley to win the WAC. Now, that's all I have for y'all for this episode. The next time y'all gonna see me, we will be figuring out what the bracket is. Now, I didn't make a short about Troy, nor did I make a short about Furman winning their conference tournament championships and punching their ticket to the dance. I figured because I'll talk about it literally like an hour or so after it happened, might as well just not do it. I may make a short about whether no, that's not a championship game. I may make a short about LIU if they win. I am going to make a short about Mercyhurst if they win, because again, if Mercyhurst wins, they can't even go to the conference tournament, so that sucks for them. So I'll make that. I believe the Mercyhurst game is tomorrow. But yeah, as far as a live show, I won't be live again until Sunday. And again, Sunday will be featuring a special guest. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. Now, speaking of, we are a network. We do have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. We have multiple shows, but they went live earlier today. They go live on Mondays and Thursdays between 7 and 8:30. We have Unfazed, which you got to catch them when they go live. They don't have a set schedule. That's Joe and AJ. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. We currently have the World Baseball Classic going on. USA is up 5-2 against Mexico in the bottom of the 7th. Cuba is down 4-1 to Puerto Rico. It is bottom of the 7th there as well. Again, I told y'all, man, I feel part Japanese watching this World Baseball Classic, man. I'm representing, I'm putting on for the GOAT. The GOAT didn't hit a home run for me last game, but they played the Czech Republic. I think that's where they play tomorrow. So I might be betting on Ohtani to hit a bomb. It ain't coming on until 6 a.m, but I might be betting on Ohtani to hit a bomb. But he's probably going live after all the games to recap today's action in the WBC. So y'all check that out. We got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Free agency deals have been announced. And as a Ravens fan, the Max Crosby deal was great. But there's a lot of things that got me feeling down bad right now. So make sure y'all tune into FFC for whatever content he has to give you. Probably going to talk about the free agency signings and everything. We got guys like Tua going to the Falcons. We got Malik Willis going to the Dolphins. The Rams signed both of the Chiefs' corners. They traded for McDuffie. They signed Julian Watson. The Steelers got Michael Pittman. Still don't have a quarterback. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, NBA show featuring Vaughn. Pistons better not lose tomorrow. Make it a 5th straight. We play the Nets. Get it done. Next, we have Dave's Doghouse highlights and lowlights of sport. We have In the Red Corner boxing episode. All your boxing needs. They go live on Sundays. Not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sunday. That's featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. And last but not least, we have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey. Again, new show. I think he dropped the episode earlier, but it wasn't live. But I don't know the logistics, so just catch it when you can. But that's all I got for y'all today. And until Sunday, if you want to see me, reels will be dropping, shorts will be dropping. But I'm gone off this live until Sunday. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.